Hello. We are starting part 6 of an 8-part series about homeschooling. There was kind of a part 0 about what are your goals for your child, so you could watch those. But I thought I would break them up into separate parts because different people have different concerns, and maybe you don't want to hear all hour of the reasons why you feel like you can't, but you really can. I think a lot of times we let our emotions drive us. We let our fears drive us and keep us away from things that really are good and that God has called us to. We can do whatever it is that the Lord has called us to do. He will strengthen you to achieve it by His Spirit. His Word will give you wisdom. When you pray and ask God for wisdom, He will give it to you. So, number 6, I can't homeschool because I can't afford it. I will tell you, there are kind of 2 parts to this. One is if you're already staying home and not bringing in an income currently, then let me just share with you that you really can educate your child at home for next to nothing. You can use the library. You can use online resources. If you're interested, I have made up a whole thing of my favorite homeschooling resources, and I'll put those on my blog at teachwhatisgood.com, and you can go look there. I haven't done it yet, so don't do it right this minute. If you're watching it live. If you're watching this tomorrow, hopefully I will have done it by then. But there are lots of resources that you can find online for free or next to nothing. Use your library. It is amazing how many resources you can find in your library, especially if your child is young, meaning kindergarten to 4th grade. You really don't need to spend very much money, but buying a curriculum will help you to stay on task. It will be easier if you buy a store-bought curriculum, but some curriculum is still inexpensive. Like 5 in a Row is an example that I often give of a curriculum that just kind of tells you ideas. This is kind of K through 2. Read this book, do these activities, but most of the stuff costs next to nothing. You can check out the books at the library. If you are not working and you're just concerned with the expense of tutorial programs, for example, let me encourage you, you don't have to use a tutorial program. You can do a co-op with a mom or 2 or 3 and get together and do some school stuff together. Also, though, you can buy used curriculum. It is amazing how much used curriculum is out there. Look on Facebook Marketplace. Look at your local Facebook homeschool resources. There's lots of Facebook groups online. You can search eBay for used curriculum. I rarely pay full price for a curriculum unless it is a consumable workbook. But if you are currently working and in order to homeschool your child, you're going to have to take a cut in pay, that can be very, very hard. And let me just encourage you that you can still work part-time. I teach English online early in the morning before my kids are awake, and Friday and Saturday evenings. So if it really is something that the Lord is calling you to do, you can do both. You can homeschool and work part-time. I really don't think you can work full-time and homeschool your kids well, frankly. I know this is probably controversial and some people are going to be upset with me, but if you and your husband are partnering together, I can see that. If you have a parent that's helping you, if you have a program that you're using or something, but homeschooling takes time. You can watch my video about I don't have time, but you really can still work part-time. Also, let me just encourage you, the Lord will provide what you need. If the Lord has called you to do this, my husband lost his job for 11 months before we moved. to our new state. And during those 11 months, I was homeschooling and I didn't go back to work. And during that time, the Lord provided for us by giving my husband contract work to do, giving me a little bit of work part-time. And it was just amazing to watch how the Lord provided for us. But also it came to the point where we had to sell our house. And that was a sacrifice. But my children are worth it. And if I have to choose between a 2,800 square foot house or being home with my kids, I'm choosing my kids. For time and eternity, my kids are more important than my house. My kids are more important than my car. My kids are more important than cable. My kids are more important than eating at fancy restaurants. There are lots of things that you can cut out of your life in order to make it possible for you to be able to stay home with your children. This is whether you choose to homeschool or not. Let me just encourage you that you have great value in the life of your children and they're worth it. If your kids are still little, I couldn't hear it when my kids were little. Your kids grow up really, really, really fast. They grow up really fast. My oldest two are now grown and out of the house and married. And I treasure every day that we had together. I'm so, so thankful for the opportunity to homeschool them. So if the Lord's called you to do it, you can. You can cut what you need to cut and work part-time if you need to. So stay tuned for part number 7. I can't homeschool because I want my kids to have friends and be socialized. Haha, that's a good one. I hear that one a lot. Bye, you guys. Stay tuned for the next one.